And this is going to be sort of a bit more of an advanced concept, so bear with me for a second.
Okay.
If we think of the cart as a tool to create map pressure, what's the intended reaction you want to pull away from the enemy team?
One or two people to come after me to chase.
Exactly. In this case, we see the Lucio falling back. So let's say, for example, actually, this isn't a not bad example. I still think you should have fought here, but let's say we weren't able to fight here, and this was like their default position to start the fight. You going past them, going back to the cart here, will, one, draw an entire member back. This means they no longer have speed, they no longer have peeling for their Ana, and it might take even more attention away from them. We see the monkey's looking to jump back already. The soldier might turn and put a few shots on you to get you off cart. That amount of attention that's taken away from the front line, a position they're already set to hold, now gives your team a resource advantage to break through this space. So while this space was initially in their favor, taking the attention of one or two or more members away means that your team has a much easier time breaking into that space. The added advantage as the ball player, you often see this as tracers sometimes too, is you have much more mobility than the majority of the cast. So for example, if this Lucio wasn't around to come contest you and the monkey jumps you instead, or a Reinhardt starts backing up to go touch the payload, or any tank really, or any DPS member that doesn't have mobility, the hog comes back to hook you or something, you will get away and rejoin this fight, again, the space we're trying to break through as a team, you'll be there way sooner than any members that come back to cart. Monkey burns his jump, he won't have his jump to re-engage. Hog moves over here, tries to use his hook on you, he won't waddle back in time before you get there as ball.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So this is, again, a pretty advanced concept, and you usually only see this at higher levels or in coordinated play. But in order for you to make that decision, it needs to be a situation where you know you don't have an advantage going into some sort of space. So this is a good example. It's a choke point your team has to go through. Your flank options are somewhat limited. It's hard to roll through this point. But if you can get behind them, again, like you said, their object permanence might hinder them, and you might just get some free cart. But the majority of the time, you should expect at least one member, like this Lucio, to come contest you, if not outright punish you. So be ready for that moment, and then use that moment to re-engage where you actually want the fight to happen, where we're trying to break through a certain choke point, a certain corner, a certain space, even a certain high ground. If they're all 6 of them playing on this high ground, one of them has to drop to touch the cart, and then you can look to re-engage up here if you've got like a full dive team or something.
Okay.
So yeah, main triggers to find those situations are if a team's holding away from the payload, like close holding, and if they have slow members that are more punishing. If they've got a member like Tracer who can just mark you the whole time, you're just going to get poked out. If they got another ball and the ball just comes to contest you, it's going to be a bad time generally. But if you can punish these slower members or with more valuable cooldowns like Winston Jump, it can be really, really valuable.